Good afternoon, good evening, or good morning. Sorry I was late today. This is a late start. I'm going to see if I will have audience. If I have audience, I'll proceed with broadcast. If I don't have audience, then I might reschedule the broadcast today. But anyway, I'm here. Welcome to today's program. I'm going to take this 1 hour to discuss how to plan a diabetic friendly list. Okay, this week, since we've all been talking about dieting as an issue in managing your sugar level, so let's take this moment today, this 1 hour today, to discuss how to plan a diabetic friendly grocery list. When you are planning to do your grocery as a diabetic, do you know what do you need? All right, so please indicate to me where you are watching from. Once you join the program, kindly indicate where you are watching from. All right, and I'm sharing a link for those that want to join the program live. I've just shared a link. Okay, just open the link in your browser or in your phone, in your app, in your laptop, and then follow the instruction on how to join the program live. If you have anything to share or ask a question live on the video, you can use that link to join me live, and I'm going to bring you into the conversation. All right, Nalu, I see you. You are welcome. All right. So sorry I started late. Today was a busy day for me, and then so I'm going to try to squeeze in 1 hour of today's time, since we've been discussing about dieting. People find it very difficult in controlling their sugar level due to dieting. Why don't we take this moment to discuss how to plan your grocery list as a diabetic? What do you know exactly what you want? Okay, because being a diabetic, your grocery list is going to be totally different from your previous issue. All right, David, you're welcome. So being a diabetic, your groceries, okay, your grocery is going to be totally different because you are starting a new lifestyle. You're changing to a new lifestyle as a diabetic. So do you know how to plan for your grocery shopping as a diabetic? Do you know what you need as a diabetic? Nalu, I welcome you, all right, for joining the program. So today's topic is how to plan a diabetic-friendly grocery list. Okay, being a diabetic is one thing, and then planning for your groceries, making a grocery list for yourself. For instance, if you are in a family of 5, okay, you have your husband, you have your wife, and you have your kids, or you have your parent living with you, or you have your aunt or uncle living with you. But among all these family members or relative, one of you is diabetic. Then you will find yourself in a situation, okay, trying to take care of somebody that is diabetic, and you have a family of 5 that is not diabetic. So your grocery, you're going to be doing 2 shopping groceries. So when making grocery lists for the family, you also have to put the person diabetic into consideration, that their food, the kinds of food they eat is totally different from the kinds of the other family members. So you find yourself in a situation whereby you are struggling to make a list for diabetic person and for non-diabetic individuals in your family. All right. So food choices are a key part of managing diabetics. Okay. So we're starting the program now. So please, we're going to go into it. All right. So food choices are a key part of managing your diabetics. You know, since last week or a couple of weeks now, we've been discussing about dieting, or food, the type of food you eat. Okay. So I decided today, let me just twist it and see if that discussing this topic today is going to correct your difficulties on the type of food you eat. So food choices are a key part of managing diabetics. Okay. eating fewer carbohydrates, limiting high processed foods, okay, and choosing more natural options can help you manage your blood sugar levels. So foods are a key part of managing your diabetes. Okay, now you know foods are a key part of managing your diabetes. What are the type of food you should have on your grocery list? What are the type of food you're supposed to have on your grocery list? Okay, I believe you guys can see that. Okay, food choices are a key part of managing your diabetes. So those of you that are struggling in controlling your sugar level, okay, your food, the type of food you eat, the type of drinks you take are a key part of managing your diabetes. If you can define or be able to isolate or be able to know the kinds of food you're expected to eat at every point in time, you see that 50 or 60% of your diabetic situation is settled. All right. So, Diane, your question is going to be answered later. We just started the program. Okay. So I'm going to answer that question later. Okay, I'm going to answer that question later. So if you're going to be watching the program, just hang on there. Later, I'm going to answer that question. All right. So when you have diabetes, okay, your body has difficulty using glucose. I've explained that in the past. When you have diabetes, your body have difficulty in using glucose that comes from your food. Okay, that's when we start having issue of insulin resistance. Your body is not insulin sensitive. It's not sensitive to insulin. So you become insulin resistant because your body find it very difficult using glucose as a source of energy. Instead, it is floating around in your bloodstreams and causing you more damages to your head organs. Okay, so that is why you have issues of diabetes. When your body cannot use its glucose as a source of fuel to give you that energy, then you become diabetic. Then there'll be an elevation in your sugar level. Okay, your sugar level in your blood keep piling up, piling up, piling up. And while they are piling up and they're still floating around within your bloodstreams, that is when they are causing most damages to your organs and nerves. All right, and they become harmful to your head and then even could be fatal. So if the glucose level are consistently above your target range, it can lead to health complications. We all know that. So we all know the common complications that is going to come once your sugar level is too high for a longer period of time. All right. So I'm just going to go. I just have 1 hour to spend with this. I'm just going to try to rush this program because I know I started late. So I'm going to try to squeeze in 1 hour. Okay. So maintaining a diabetic-friendly diet is more complex. I've explained that before. That the difficulties most of you are having in having a persistent normal sugar target range is your dieting. They are complex, okay, and very difficult at the beginning, but onset, say down the road, 6 months down the road, you start, by that time you've learned, it becomes more easy for you to know the kinds of food you eat and the kinds of food you don't need to eat, what time to exercise, what are you expecting, what time to check your blood sugar levels, what time to see your doctors, what time to take your medications. Okay, but when it comes to dieting, it is complex. There are a lot of juggernauts that have to fit into place because you are not dealing with one diet. You are dealing with several kinds of diet. You have to be cautious of the kinds of food you eat because now you're going to be wary of your carbohydrate intake so that it doesn't spark up your sugar level and start giving you those symptoms of diabetes. Okay, so even though dieting, okay, are complex, it should not deter you from living a normal life. All you have to do is tell yourself, I will learn. I have to learn this. I have to pull through this because this kind of illness is not something that comes within 1 month or 2 weeks and goes away. It's something for life. So you have no choice than to learn those diets that are complex and try to differentiate which is which. Okay, so now let's go. Planning for your meals ahead of time is very important. Okay, planning for your meals as a diabetic ahead of time is very important. You don't just get up all of a sudden and I want to eat. You plan your meals ahead of time. Like for instance, my meal for the next 1 week has already been prepared. What I'm going to eat now from now to Friday, Saturday, Sunday is already prepared. Okay, so what I'm planning now is for next week. So I always plan my meals ahead. The foods that my breakfast I'm going to take to my office in the morning is already done. My lunch, I have them ready. So I tend to plan my meals ahead of time. Okay, the more time you have to plan your meals, the better. But if you try to squeeze it out at the last minute, you find it very difficult, and that is when you are prone to make mistakes and eat the wrong food or count the wrong carbohydrate. So planning your meal might take a little bit of time, but planning is very important and essential as a diabetic. Okay, so it's going to take you a lot of time, but you're going to reap the reward later. So if you have already decided, okay, what you are going to make each night of the week, all right, and have your refrigerator stocked, you are much closer to a healthy meal. You must make sure you have a refrigerator because you're going to pile a lot of food in your fridge. So now, getting into a routine of meal planning makes staying. I don't know what this question is coming in here. Just excuse me. I want to see what this guy is asking me. All right, I'll deal with that question. I have two questions, Diane. I have your question, and I have another two questions waiting here. All right, if you have a pen and paper, let's look at the steps, the tips of planning your meals ahead of time. Let's look at the tips, okay, of planning your meals ahead of time. To make it easier, I'm going to just put them on the comment section. No, okay. Just so that I'm trying to do something here. All right, so we're going to look at the suggested tips for planning your meals ahead of time. Okay. If it's gonna. Okay. Number one, let me see what I have to do here. Okay, number one step. Okay, number one step, pick 1 day per week. Okay, when you are planning your meals ahead, okay, we're looking at the steps to take when planning your meals ahead. Okay, when you are planning to go for your groceries ahead of time, first of all, let me see what Diane, what snacks can I eat beside popcorn? Diane, you say what snacks can you eat before popcorn? Let me answer this question because I have questions piling up here. Diane, are you still there? Let me just deal with your question now and then we'll move on. Diane, are you still there? Can you confirm if you're still here? I want to make sure you're still here so I can answer your question. Diane, are you still here? Okay, you asked me about what snacks you can eat beside popcorn. Okay, if you're talking about snacks, okay, are you talking about sandwich? Okay, you can take 2 slices of brown bread and sardine, okay, or 2 slices of brown bread, okay. Have your tomatoes, your lettuce in there, okay. For instance, before I come on a live program, all right, I take a 2 slices of brown bread and I put my peanut butter, just peanut butter on it, and I take. In the morning, I have a 2 slices of brown bread and I use avocado only on it. I use avocado, 2 slices of brown bread and avocado. Okay. Okay, you're not talking about, all right. Uh, let me see. Let me see types of snacks you need apart from. I'm trying to figure out something that doesn't have too much carbohydrate. Just hold on, let me see something. Yeah, I'm going to see. Most of the snacks I know, most of the snacks I know contains a lot of carbohydrate. Um, Nut contains a lot of carbohydrate. Okay, not all nut, because if I ask you to go for nut like almond or the peanut, but it depends on the amount of almond you're going to chew. All right. So not belong to a class of snacks, but how much are you going to take? Like for instance, I think I told you guys the story. I took 3 almonds and I felt so bad. So if I say go for almond, how many pieces of almond are you going to chew? If I say go for granite, how many granite are you going to take? I don't want to recommend you a snack and you go and they start eating all kinds of. You fill your hand with the nuts and start taking. Now, boiled egg. You can take one boiled egg. Okay, get a boiled egg, just one boiled egg, or you go for chickpeas. There's something we call chickpeas. All right, but whatever snack I'm recommending, you must eat them in a smaller quantity. Like this nut, I'm telling you now, if you go for almond, you can't chew more than 2 or 3 pieces. All right. If you go for like a chickpeas, okay, chickpeas, yes, you can take a little bit. You must take it in a smaller quantity. You can't take a lot. Now, boiled egg, one. You can go for one boiled egg, just one. You can't take 2 boiled egg at the same time. Okay, you say you don't want popcorn. Now, I'm not going to recommend you yogurt. Yogurt, if I say go for yogurt, you won't be able to go for the Greek yogurt, and then you wouldn't be disciplined. So I will stay away from yogurt. Now, another thing again is this fried. I don't. Are you listening to me? Okay. The snacks you can do at home. Okay. Okay. Now I remember one. I remember now. Okay. I remember now. The snacks that you can do at home is you go and get a green, the green plantain. Green plantain. Don't go for the right plantain. Go for green plantain and then fry it. Cut it and then fry it. Okay, and let it dry. You know, when you fry it, let it dry very well. You fry it and let it dry, and then you can now take 2, 3 as snacks. So yeah, green plantain, but not the ripe one. All right. So nuts, chickpeas, um, green plantain fried one. Okay, potato, sweet potato, sweet potato. You know, you fry it, you cut them, you slice them into pieces. Okay, don't go for the white potato. The sweet potato, you slice it and then fry it. Make it fry it. Don't fry it very well and let it dry. But you're not going to eat too much. It must be in a smaller quantity. You know, the way they make chips. You know the way they do use potato to make as chips. So you fry it as a chip, but you must eat them in a smaller quantity. Oatmeal. Oatmeal is good, like all these cooker oat. There's a lot of cooker oat in Africa. Oatmeal is do a lot of small oatmeal. Oatmeal is good because it contains a lot of fiber in it. So oatmeal will be good for you as a diabetic. Among all these things that are listed for you, oatmeal is good. All right. Then you go for fruits. Go for fruits like the super fruit. Go for orange. Okay. Go for orange juice. I mean, not orange juice, oranges. The one you plug from the tree, not the juice aspect of it. Okay. Yeah, those ones are good. Don't go for crackers. If you're going to go for crackers, go for the one that is unsalted, 0 calorie, everything 0 in it. There are some crackers, the cracker biscuits that has 0 calorie, everything 0 in it. Okay, that's what you're going to go for. I think I've given you carrots. Okay, carrot is good. You take 1 carrot, don't take 2 carrots. Just one single carrot is okay for you to match, and then some salad. Okay, some salad will be okay for you. Then you can have one apple, okay, and peanut butter. I don't know if you have tested it before. Apple and peanut butter, they're also good. I used to take it also. So these are some examples of snacks you can take if you don't want popcorn. All right. Did you get it now, Diane? Did you get it? So I have to go back to what we are talking. You got to stay away from pancakes. Okay, you got to stay away from pancake. Let's go back to water because you draw my attention now. All right. So I was trying to discuss the steps of planning your meals ahead. Okay, steps to take. This is what we are before. This is what I was trying to discuss before. Suggested as the tips for planning your meals ahead is what I'm about to discuss. Okay. All right. You're welcome. Now I said one. Okay, pick one day per week where you can set aside a couple of hours for meal planning. This could be a weekend day or another non-working day. Okay, if you have children, look for a day when you don't have to transport them around for various activities. We are talking about planning your meals and groceries ahead. So you're going to choose one day, okay, to get your notes, know what, especially if you have, so I've given you an example, maybe in a house, you have one person that is diabetic and the rest of the members of the family are not diabetics. So it means you're going to have 2 grocery lists. You're going to plan your meals ahead. All right. So let's go to number 2. Let's go to number 2. Number 2, to get let me see. Number 2. This is number 2. Sorry, I'm gonna change it. So number two, to get started, write a menu for the week. Okay. Look for your favorite food blogs for idea. Okay. You can go to get your, women, they like going to the magazines and look for their favorite food, how to plan it. Okay. Look for favorite blogs for ideas and then write them down on the shopping list as you go. Then hit the grocery store using your list as a guide. So first of all, you have to choose one day when you know that nobody's going to disturb you, you are just alone. You want to make your list. Okay. Then as a diabetics, you don't have a clue of the kinds of food to buy. Now you can get a help from all these grocery magazines. There are some diet magazines. Okay, maybe you are lucky in those diet magazines, food magazines. You see food for diabetic, and then they will show you how to prepare them. So you go through those lists in the magazines and then write them down. Okay, and then write them down. Because if you're diabetics and you don't know the kinds of food you eat, so you have to grab, maybe go through those magazines and know the kinds of food for diabetics, and then know if something you can be able to to cook. That's number two. Number three. Number three is. Number three is, if you find it very difficult or you like ideas, you don't know the kinds of food that diabetics eat. These days, you can go on a website, you can go on a Google and say food for diabetic. Okay, search there. If you don't know, you don't have a clue the kinds of food that is meant for diabetes or what to shop for, you can use your phone or go to the laptop and Google to get an idea the kinds of food diabetics can eat and cannot eat. Okay, and then you write everything down before heading to the store. Okay, so you also have to do your research. You also have to do your research if you lack clue of what to do or to buy at a shop or not to buy at a shop. So if you find it very difficult making your own list, these days, if you go on the website online, you can search all kinds of food that is suitable for you to eat as a diabetic. Now, after you've done that, okay, you will have a great database of recipe. So after you've checked the magazine to get an idea and still do some research, say, okay, you know what, I'm going to check online and see what is out there online to get more idea in details of the kinds of things diabetics eat. By the time you check the magazines, the diet magazines, and you go online to research what to expect, then you have much more idea on the things that is allowed for a diabetics, and then draw your list accordingly from there. Maybe by the time you are checking those lists, okay, you might find they will give you a guideline how to prepare those food. But women are creative. There's a women can use those guidelines and create their own food, not even using those ideas. But one thing you have to worry is that when creating your own food, make sure all the ingredients you are adding in there conform to living with diabetics. Okay, you have to make sure you are preparing your food that meets the requirement for diabetes, because all those things you're going to be adding, all those what do you call it, all those ingredients you are going to be adding in those foods, remember they also contain carbohydrate. So you're going to be wary of not cooking a pot of food that is filled with too much carbohydrate. So that is why sometimes when you go through the list of those things, they will give you the amount of this to add, the amount of this to add. At the end of the day, it's equal to that carbohydrate standard that you need. Okay. So after you've done that, okay, you'll be able to know the kinds of food you need or not. All right. Now, if you are the type of person that cook daily, all right, then it becomes more tough for you, because it means every day when you go to the shop to buy food, you have to buy food that's going to last you for a month and then store them in your fridge. Okay. Now, what are those lists? What are those lists? In those lists, there are things that are compulsory you must have on those lists. And number one is fruit and vegetable. Now, we are talking about the list. We are talking about the list of the things that must contain. For instance, you've taken a day to plan. So, okay, I'm a diabetic. We have 4 members in the family that are not diabetics, and I have one child that is a diabetic. Now, you have 2 different lists you are going to make, because the one that is a diabetic, the kinds of food they eat might be different from the kinds of food this one eats. So now, what you are going to do was, okay, I choose one day. So I choose one day. So I'm going to choose either Saturday to start now planning ahead of my shopping list. So it's okay. Saturday, I'm going to sit down when the children are not going to be home to make a list. You have your magazines, you have your phone, you have your laptop. You're trying to find out what are the type of food for diabetics. I have a diabetic patient in the house. So by the time you go through those magazines, go through those websites, now you have an idea the kinds of food they eat. All right. And then you start writing everything down. So we finish that aspect. Now, we're going to discuss, we're going to list what are those items on those lists that you must have as a diabetic. And I said, number one is fruit and vegetables. Those also, as a diabetic, if you're making your list, you must have fruit and vegetables on your list. That should be on your number one. Okay? That should be your number one. Fruits and vegetables must be on that list. Because as a diabetic, 80% of your food must be fruit and vegetables. Then 20%, you have your fiber in there. Even on those fruit and vegetables, it still give you the fiber. But fruit and vegetables must be number one on that list. Okay. So now, what are those type of fruit and vegetables? Okay. Remember, on that fruit and vegetables, okay, they are non-starchy vegetables. Okay, they are non-starchy vegetables. You have to go for non-starchy vegetables. They are the lowest in calories and carbohydrates. So even when choosing fruit and vegetables, you must go for non-starchy vegetables because they are the one that is low in calories and low in carbohydrate. Remember, I told you guys, every fruit, every vegetable, every food you eat, even some of the drinks you eat, contains carbohydrate. The question now is the quantity of the consumption. So when choosing your fruit and vegetables, go for non-starchy vegetables because those fruit that fall under non-starchy vegetables are low in calories and carbohydrates, and then more in fiber. Okay, so what are the type of those non-starchy vegetables? Okay, we're talking about broccoli. We're talking about broccoli. So you can choose under fruit and vegetables. You can choose broccoli. Okay, you can choose cauliflower. Okay, we have Brussels sprout. You guys know about Brussels sprout. That's number 3. You have your green beans. Your green beans. That's number 4. You have your eggplant. Eggplant. That's your number 5. You have your asparagus. Asparagus as number 6. You have your celery. Celery as number 7. And then you have your carrots. Carrot as number 8. And you have your salad greens. Salad greens as number 9. So these are examples of non-starchy vegetables. They are non-starchy vegetables. So among all these, you can select. It's not like you're going to go and buy everything, but you can say among all these lists I gave you guys now, you can select. When you go to the market, you select. If you don't see cauliflower, you can go for broccoli. If you don't see Brussels sprout, you can go for green beans. Okay, so these are different choices of non-starchy vegetables that you can go for. So fruit and vegetables is going to be on that list. Then under fruit and vegetables, there are different kinds of fruit and vegetables. That's what I just listed there. So on the list, just what I'm trying to do something if it's going to fit. Let me see. So I'm trying to see if I can list, if I can put it here. Just hold on, let me see. Okay. So this is for fruit and vegetables. Okay. So fruit and vegetables, I listed everything in there. Okay. I listed everything there. You see your broccoli, your cauliflower at the bottom. If you look at the bottom, you see your broccoli, your cauliflower, your Brussels sprout, your green beans, your eggplant, your asparagus, your celery, your salad greens, and then your carrot and your zucchini. So at the bottom, if you look at the bottom, that is where fruit and vegetables. Okay. So those that fall under fruit and vegetables, they must be on that list. Now, one thing you have to understand also is you need to count your carbs in your fruits and your starchy vegetables. Those things contain also carbohydrate. So you must also be wary of. So you will need to count the carbs in your fruit and starchy vegetables, just as you would for any other carbohydrate food. This doesn't mean you need to avoid them, just be sure the amount of eating them. So as I said to you guys, your fruit and vegetables, you must count it along. Then the next one you're going to do is meat and seafood. Meat and seafood. Okay. On that list, you got to choose meat and seafood. When it comes to meat, you got to go for the lean meat. For the seafood, there are different types. But when you're talking about meat, you have to go for lean meat. Okay, lean meat is what is recognized, not the red meat. So you go for the lean meat, and then the seafood. We all know what seafood are. We're talking about fish, the crabfish, fish, or fish, the tuna. We have the crabs. All those things fall under seafood. Under seafood. Okay, so but when you are going for meat, you have to go for lean meat. So meat and seafood will be on the list you are going to make. All right. So fish is very important because fish is going to provide you the omega-3 fatty acid that you need and also your protein. So we're talking about salmon, we're talking about tuna, we're going to kingfish, codfish. All those things are going to provide you the omega-3 fatty acid and also your protein, okay, for a healthy heart. So on the meat, you have to go for lean meat. Don't go for red meat. You're going to stay away from red meat if you're a diabetic. Always stay away from red meat if you are a diabetic. Go for lean meat. Lean meat is gotten from a specific area in the animal's body. That is not going to affect your cholesterol issues. So that's why they specifically mention it lean meat. Then the next one is legumes. Legumes, okay, you have to have legumes on that list. Okay, legumes also is going to provide you the fiber that you need and less carbohydrate. So when you are making those lists, you go for legumes. What are the examples of legumes? We have beans, we have the peanuts, we have the peas, and we have the lentils. These are examples of legumes. Legumes have to be on that list when you are making your list for a diabetic individual. You must make sure you have legumes in that list. And then the next one is your dietary alternatives. Remember, I told you guys you must, if you want, you have to go for dietary alternatives. You cannot take fresh milk. Okay, you have to go for dietary alternatives, and I'll give you guys an example of dietary alternatives. We're talking about soy milk or almond milk. But you have to be, the quantity of your soy or almond milk will depends on the amount of carbohydrate you are taking, because they are going to count towards your carbohydrates. So almond, when you are looking for dietary, so you're going to go for dietary alternatives. And I'll give you guys some dietary alternatives as your almond milk, soy milk, flax milk, or hemp milk. All these are alternative to fresh milk. But at the same time, this milk alternative contains carbs in them also. And they're going to count towards your carb for that particular meal or for that particular day. So the quantity of your almond milk or soy milk or the flax milk or your hemp milk will also determine if your sugar level is going to be in range. I tend to discourage for milk alternatives because most my fans that have been asking me about milk, I try to discourage them not to go for any, even if it's the milk alternative, because those milk alternatives also contains carbohydrate. The question is that how are you going to know the limit to take on those milk alternative? For instance, your almond milk. If you're going to take almond milk as a substitute to fresh milk, do you know the quantity you're going to take that is not going to affect your sugar level? Because remember, those substitutes contains carbs in them. So the larger the amount of almond milk or soy milk, okay, still is going to go towards your carb. So I tend most of the time to discourage everybody to stay from the milk alternative or even the fresh milk, because at the end of the day, it's all about carb counting. Okay, but if you want to add in that list dairy products, you have to go for dairy alternative. You can't go for fresh milk, the original milk. No, you have to look for the alternatives. Now you have to deal with counting your carbs on those alternatives. Okay. How many of you? My time is almost going. I have to. Do you guys have any question? So I have to be leaving. Do you have any question here? All right. So so in a nutshell, what I'm trying to say, when you are making your list as a diabetic, you must have your fruit and vegetables. They are very, very important and should be the number one in your list. Fruit and vegetables, number one. Two, you must have your legumes. Legumes are very important. Okay, legumes are very important. They're going to be on the list. And then the third one, you have to have your seafood and meat. If you're going to go for meat, go for lean meat. Don't go for the red meat. Your seafoods are going to be in there. All right. But the most important thing is the fruit and vegetables, your legumes. Okay. Your meat and seafood. Go for the lean meat. And your seafood, you know what I'm talking about in terms of seafood. You have the fish, you have the crabs. Okay. And then if you're looking for dairy products, okay, don't go for fresh milk. Stay away from milk entirely because it's going to affect your sugar level. Go for the alternatives. There are dairy alternatives in terms of your flax milk, almond milk, soy milk, or the hemp milk. Remember, on those alternatives, they also contain carbohydrate in them. So you're going to treat them the same way you are treating the fresh milk. Now, when using those dairy alternatives, you have to now identify at what quantity should you consume them. Because whatever you take from those dairy alternatives is going to count towards your carb counting for that particular day. So the larger amount of almond milk you use, the larger the carbs in them, and it's going to also affect your sugar level. So most of the time, I tend to discourage my fans and patients to stay away from anything dairy, because at the end of the day, it's going to affect your sugar level once you consume them. All right. Then we have the frozen foods. Okay. Frozen foods are also good. Like most fruits, and there are some veggies that are frozen. You have to keep them frozen to be fresh. So anytime you want to use them, you bring them out and defrozen them so that it look fresh also. Okay. So frozen foods, make sure like the shrimp and some frozen fish, some of the fish, you have to keep them frozen so they remain fresh anytime you want to use them. You have to frozen most of your food. Now, there is one vegetable. It's a root vegetable. It's a non-starch vegetable called spinach. Spinach must be in your list. Okay. Gloria, you're welcome. Spinach is important. Spinach is fortified with fiber. Okay. Eat a lot of spinach. Spinach is well fortified with fiber, and let it be on that list. Spinach is good. Make sure you have spinach in most of the things you eat. Your tomatoes, your onion, your pepper, all those things are very, very good for you as a diabetic. Make sure you eat a lot of them. All right. Your green, stay away from ripe plantain and go for green plantain. Green plantain is well good instead of the ripe plantain. So these are certain things you have to stay away. Then we're talking about in terms of your swallow, go for the, make sure you have in that list your oatmeal. Those oats must be whole. Anything that is not whole, stay away from it, like your whole grains, whole wheat, or your oatmeals. Those are the kinds of food and must be on those lists. You have to substitute those, your cornmeal, your semolina, your your yam flour meal. All those things you have to stay away because those are starchy vegetables and it's going to affect your sugar level. Instead, go for the whole grains like millet, quinoa, okay, or whole wheat or oatmeals. These are well fortified with fiber, and you're going to benefit a lot of it. And then staying away from cornmeal or yam meal or cassava meal. So these are the kinds of food that are supposed to be on your list as a diabetic. So when struggling about the kinds of food to eat, these are some of the kinds of food to eat. And as I said, if you're a beginner in the diabetics, you might get some of these magazines, diet magazines. In most of these magazines will give you a friendly advice for diabetic about the kinds of food diabetics are expected to eat. Okay, or you can go on a website, go on a line, search diabetic friendly food. There are tons of them there to give you a clue of the kinds of lists you should be making when preparing to go for a grocery shopping. Okay, it becomes very difficult for you when maybe in a family of 6 or 7, there's only one person that is diabetic, the rest are okay. Then it means you have to be balancing between those two individuals. You have to make sure you prepare food according to a diabetic individual, and you also have to prepare food for the rest of the family. So you have to be juggling between one and the other. So it becomes more complicated. But in all, what we're trying to say, or what I'm trying to say, is that dieting plays a vital role in managing your diabetes. You must have the required knowledge of the kinds of food you eat, at what time you eat, the quality you eat, to have an effective hands in managing your diabetes and keeping them within a target range. So planning your meals ahead as a diabetic is good. Make out time, plan your meals ahead. Okay, sit down, draw the list, make your research, write them down. So when you hit the grocery store, at least you know what you're shopping for. Okay, because you know your health status. And when you come home, you apply them to the kinds of food you eat. And then you start seeing the result in terms of your dieting, your exercising, and taking your medications. Gloria, you're welcome. Okay. So, so that is what it is. Okay. I say I'm going to spend an hour today because I came late. I just came in just to rush in and do this program. Okay. And then maybe tomorrow, Wednesday, if I have, maybe I might be early tomorrow. So I've given you guys the list of, so you must have grains, you must have, stay away from canned food, okay? Anything, all those canned food, all those food that you see in the shop that are in a tin, sealed up, they are all processed. You got to stay away from them. Eating those type of food is going to affect your sugar level because they're all processed. There's added sugar in them and too much carbohydrate. So the bottom line is the people with diabetes, your diet is the best natural medicine. For people with diabetes, your diet is the best natural medicine for your body because food can directly affect your blood sugar level. So choose wisely to make sure your food you are eating has a positive effect. So that is what I'm trying to say, you know. This I'm trying to see something. Did anybody have any question? Today we are just rushing. I'm just rushing this program. So my bottom line for people with diabetics, your diet is the best natural medicine for your body because food can directly affect your blood sugar. Choose wisely to make sure the food you are eating has a positive effect. Eating healthy, balanced diet is the key, is the natural medicine on managing diabetics. Okay. Do we have any question? Okay. So what I'm trying to say is, in a simple terms, refined carbs and highly processed or sugary food often lead to elevated blood sugar levels. So if you can stick to a balanced diet that focuses on plenty of vegetables and fruits, whole grains, high fiber food, lean animals and plant proteins, okay, healthy fat, okay, then these are the kinds of food you should stick yourself with. If you can limit yourself, let me see something I need to. All right. Do you have any question? I'm trying to rush back to work. Tomorrow I'm going to spend much time. Today I'm just rushing. Okay, I'm just rushing today. Um, I'm just rushing today. Tomorrow I'm going to have more time with you guys. Okay, because I have to get back to work. I said let me just come in and drop just quickly do this program for you guys, and then. But once I drop the video, you guys can watch the video and then try to understand what I'm talking about on how to plan your diet-friendly food. Planning ahead is very important. Knowing the type of things you want to buy is very important. The type of food you're going to buy is very important. And then the quality, the quantity is very important. If you're diabetic, you have to plan ahead. All right? Don't just get up and say you want to go to the shop, because you might go in there and confuse or buy the wrong items, especially if you are the first, if this is your first time to be in diabetes. If you are seasoned like me or you that have been having diabetes for 3, 4, 5 years, then at least you are conversant the type of things you need to buy. You don't need to prepare it. It is good idea to prepare ahead of time. Okay, prepare ahead of time, draw your list, clean your cupboard, and when you hit the store, you know what you are shopping for. But if you don't prepare in time, you might go in there. Two things might happen. You might be confused or forgetful, or you buy the wrong products. So that is why it is good to prepare ahead of time and make a list of the kinds of food that you need. All right. Do we have any question? Sorry about it. I started late today because I was rushing. I started late because I was caught up with work. So today, maybe I have to redo this video again during the weekend when I'll be relaxed, because I just said, no, let me just get in and then try to see if I can do some presentation. So I was just rushing, and now my phone is beeping. I have to return back to work. So I want to see, do you guys have any question before I let you guys go? I'm going to try to redo this program again where I will have much time to explain in details. But at least this is going to give you guys an idea of what I'm talking about. Okay? If you guys don't have any question, I'm going to let you guys go. Tomorrow, we're going to meet tomorrow and then for another program. Okay? I'm going to rush back to office and finish up my day. If you guys watch this video and still confused, send in your questions and I'm going to respond back. Send in your questions and I'm going to respond back. Okay. But I will try to redo this particular topic again where I'm not going to be in a rush. So if in the absence of any other question, I'm going to let you guys go, and then we're going to meet tomorrow. If you guys, I'll be able to start early. All right, friends. Let's meet we're going to meet tomorrow again. I'm going to let you guys go. Okay. Enjoy your evening or your afternoon, depending where you're watching it from. Tomorrow is another day. I'm going to try to be early, and then we can see. I promise you guys, I'm going to redo this video again, maybe where I will have a lot of time to explain in details. Today has been kind of busy for me, so I try to rush in, and I'm trying to rush this program in. So I'm going to represent this video again, and when I'll have enough time, so you guys can understand me properly. So let me let you guys go for now, and then tomorrow is another day we shall meet. Okay, I'm going to say good night and goodbye. Okay, bye bye.